Keith Fitzgerald, the man who won't be surprised about a $100 Palantir in the near future, goes on to NYSC TV and talks about upcoming earnings reports being on his radar, and he points out the biggest mistake when it comes to the volatility of earnings seasons is just getting emotional and making rash decisions instead of a simple course correction. Now, covering Palantir, it was actually a very brief moment, but I think it's actually worth sharing with folks. When asked about upcoming investments, especially those trying to break into AI and those upcoming fields, a lot of the smaller players are getting eaten up and bought out by big tech. So he believes that big tech is the place to be and the opportunity because of that future trajectory of innovation and having the leading edge against the competition will just end up in their hands anyway. But notes how Palantir is that rare exception of the smaller guy getting through and breaking away to make a name for themselves and carving out their own niche. And he notes it's a company to hold on for dear life. Now, why did this catch my attention? Big tech has always been known for this, buying up emerging technology and innovation before it becomes a threat to them. And of course, maybe they want to improve themselves, but also it's a way of self-preservation. And as these smaller players, of course, it's quite attractive and less risky to get your exit as a founder instead of the uphill battle in plain resources against big tech. So first one to come in mind is like a Microsoft who just creates similar products, but even if inferior, their distribution is already in place since they're so widely implemented. So that's what they have to go against. And this is where the opportunity of Palantir lies, and still technically risky, of course, but they're already carving out a name for themselves, as mentioned, in the implementation of AI and actually making it usable. Now, overlapping pieces from competitors is still a real thing today, but when it comes down to implementation and actually operationalization of AI, it's found to be a bit more tedious, especially with the conversation around reducing hallucinations with, say, an ontology from Palantir, as well as having the pristine security controls that Palantir has been operating and building upon the last 2 decades. So Keith seems to recognize this diamond in the rough and that the greater opportunity isn't necessarily that they only have a good product, which is still important, but they also have and are continuing to overcome the odds of first never ever selling out to big tech. And of course, I think we're way past that point in my opinion, but even so, Palantir has demonstrated they are carving out a niche of their own in providing AIP today where no one's really at the same level at this moment. Of course, there's still execution needed for future growth, but Palantir has had their head start, is starting to sprint. But curious to know your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.